The opinions expressed on the following audio program are solely those of the host and the guests. Burner Podcast is an independently produced, not-for-profit show and is not associated with the Burning Man organization or its subsidiaries. The views expressed are not representative of the entire Burning Man community and are presented here for entertainment purposes only. In short, calm the fuck down. It's just a podcast.
Check. Yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. I like hearing the bass in my voice.
At least you have some.
It gets better if it's been a long night. Oh. Here's the downside. Everyone's voice sounds way cooler if it's been a long, intense night and you haven't gotten much sleep and you're dehydrated and your voice sounds super cool.
It's like your sexy voice comes out.
Yeah. You want to hold the mic?
Oh, we're using these.
Yeah. We're using both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're recording. Sorry, I was not clear on that.
No, I'm with the program.
Yeah. We're recording on both of them. And then afterwards, whatever has the
better quality.
We're beta testing this new recording approach, but we're recording the old school way on the correct way.
Yeah. Sweet.
Anyway. Hey, it's episode number 160. Yeah, your voice is way better when you haven't slept.
Now you tell me.
And you're dehydrated.
I could have stayed up last night.
Yeah, totally. No, but then the downside is that arguably the brain doesn't function as well, so we don't come up with as quippy things.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That'll happen. When I do photo shoots, I had a makeup artist who would always tell the models, don't wash your hair. Like, shower, but don't wash your hair. Leave it as dirty as possible because it makes it better for all the product and everything.
Right.
Anyway. Hey, it's episode number 160, and it is 311 days till the man burns as of this recording. I think. Who knows anything anymore? So anyway, if you did in fact go home this year, if you did go to Burning Man, what I have to say about Burning Man 2025 may resonate. And what I have to say about Burning Man 2025 is fuck. Fucking fuck, man. Fuck. I mean, seriously, fuck. What the actual fuck? Fuck. Fuck. And I know this probably right now sounds like a crazy guy screaming fuck into the mic over and over, but what I'm saying right now is so intentional that I actually wrote it down exactly as I read it. And Rand, see, I'm literally showing you my script. I wrote fucking fuck.
Yes, you did. I can verify.
Confirm that that's what I wrote in my script. Okay. I just needed to get that out of my system. You know, it's funny. Episode 135 of this show was actually entitled "What the Fuck Just Happened Back There at Burning Man" with Buck Down. And it was the first legal burn post-COVID lockdown. And that one really did seem like it broke half the community. But you know, it's 2025 and the world is on fire. So I guess the playa didn't want to feel left out. So yes, 2025 was indeed a brutal burn. I'd say this one might have been the one that broke half the community, but I think that half the community was already broken before we even went into this one. So we're going to actually talk about some of that as well. The person that I am sitting across from right now has 2 decades of experience with Burning Man, 2 decades of experience with the community, with the culture, and we're going to have some opinions and some topics to share. And he's in a position to confirm or deny or say no comment to a lot of the opinions that we're going to
get all the options. I'll take that. Yeah.
Rand is my guest today. Rand, we should have like a clap sound or something. I'm going to add that afterwards.
Applause.
Yes, applause. Rand served as the camp lead for Bubble Lounge for over 15 years.
Not with Bubble Lounge, but about 8 years, I think, with Bubble Lounge.
But it's 20. Well, you know what? We're going to get into this in just a second. Old school burner. Bubble Lounge, if you're a listener of the show, you're familiar with because the founder, Esquire, was part of our pre-Burning Man roundtable. That was the last episode of this podcast. Bubble Lounge is one of the longest standing camps in Black Rock City. It started out, I believe, at Center Camp. Is that correct?
Yes. 1999.
Yeah. It was a staple, and then it's moved around to various participant Ultra Hub addresses along we were at the 7 o'clock sector this time. Rand, from his perspective, sitting on the stoop of one of Black Rock City's OG institutions, along with other camps that he's had experience with, is undoubtedly an abundant resource of knowledge and insights about our culture and the evolution of our community. Rand's my guest today. That's the other voice you've been hearing.
Hi, Arash. Thank you.
We are 100% going to start by talking about how much that storm in the beginning of the week fucking wrecked us. But we absolutely do promise not to make this whole episode a bitch fest. Because
it easily could be. We could really go on about that. But,
we could just bitch fest, but we're not going to. Don't worry about it. I promise. It's going to get fun. But that said, I couldn't resist naming today's episode the official hashtag of our show. This is our first one back from Burning Man. Typically, it gets up sooner, but it was such a rough burn that your host needed a little bit of extra time to recover and reset.
Decompressing.
Yeah, as did our guest. Yeah, today's episode is entitled, Don't Go to Burning Man. I go by Mr. Arash, even though nobody calls me Mr. Welcome to Burner Podcast.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was the fly with the bugs and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name, and it felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no name.
Hi, Rand.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're
Hi,
on.
Ross. We're on. I can never tell. There's no light that comes on or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There is a light. I don't know. It's the light from inside of you.
No, yeah. Just keep talking.
No, this worked out perfectly because, like, you were originally that we were working on a Bubble Lounge roundtable episode that we wanted to do before this Burning Man, and then you happened to be unavailable, and Esquire joined us, and then that episode turned into the one that it did, and this works out great because we got to spend, from my perspective as a host, it's the perfect amount and the way to spend time with a guest that I'm going to have on the show, where we had time to bond and like hang out.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not yet sick of everything you have to say. so we can now record an actual conversation.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that I've got that open mic. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, man. Boy, that certainly was a Burning Man. That was a real doozy. How's your recovery going?
Ooh. You know what? Jumped right back into it. We went to Afterburn, and we Bubble Lounge actually put up an exhibit there. We put up a little bit of. So what we did was we put up Esquire's sculpture that we had on the playa, which has been to the playa I think 9 or 10 times now, and it was a huge hit. But then I get back, and the next weekend I went camping.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting ready for another camping trip, so I haven't really unpacked everything yet.
Dude, you're an animal.
I don't know. The opportunity is there. Yeah, so I'm going to take it.
The Afterburn, this is the LA Afterburn, correct?
Correct. On Venice Beach.
Can you tell the listeners a little bit about it who assume they're in different countries and they don't know about it?
It's a couple of days at the Venice Boardwalk, right by the ocean, by the beach. And it's free before 6, so a lot of people show up before 6. It's $20 after. That's what it is.
Nice.
But it's actually a lot of fun at night because it's all lit up. It's very beautiful. They had a huge crowd this year, both days. There was a line as far as the eye could see after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
But a lot of good exhibits. Some dance music is playing. Some DJs are there. Some art. Even some art cars show up.
So some Burning Man-y shit is what you're...
It's based on
is what you're saying.
the burn. It's Afterburn.
Yeah. How many people attend?
Gosh, I don't even know. I don't know the number. But
Hundreds? Thousands?
hundreds at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Venice. It's LA. So it's like...
What I like about it is that, first of all, I love Venice Beach.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing I've found to being sort of like the playa vibe, not outside the playa. But a friend of mine, we were looking around and saying, these people that are here are not burners.
Really?
And there's a handful, mostly the burners who were there, the people who brought the stuff, the art, the cars, and so forth, the music. And I'm looking around to the rest. I'm like, these people are not burners. So this is what I like about these regionals and things like that, especially in Venice, because you've got so many international people coming through Venice. And they get introduced to a little taste of what it's like without all the dust.
Yeah. Yeah.
No windstorms.
Yeah. I don't know if that lines up with my hashtag of don't go to Burning Man. I'm trying to talk people out of going to Burning Man.
I tell
you
people,
guys are trying to get them to go.
Well, when you run a camp. Anyway, I tell people if you've ever thought you'd like to go, then go.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody. But if you think you'd like to, then it might be for you. I mean, my first year, I almost never came back.
Yeah.
That first year was really, I couldn't get my head around it right at first. I would have paid somebody $1,000 to get me the F out of there. I'm not kidding. I was like, what? I was a little bit too wound up. I was a corporate guy, and I was like, this is not me.
You can say fuck, by the way. I don't know if you heard that intro.
You know, I did that intro, and I had that question, like, can we curse on this show?
Yeah.
But you answered like in the first 10 seconds. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was really over it, and I really wanted to go out, go home, and so I'm like, I'm just going to go for a walk and like walk this anger off because I was not happy. And I went for a walk and by myself, which I highly recommend.
This is your first burn.
My very first burn.
We're not talking about Venice right now. Yeah.
2003 on the playa. And I'm walking around and I'm kind of angry. But I start looking at these people and all these things they built and how they're dressed and their vibe. And I'm like, this is not so bad. There's a movie, a quote that I really like where this guy says, sometimes I'm surrounded by so much beauty, I just can't take it.
American Beauty.
American Beauty,
Yeah.
right? And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I ended up walking, and I'm starting to feel that way now, just telling the story, with tears rolling down my face, just going, this place is crazy. It's awesome. And I went back every single year but one since then.
Yeah.
I even went to the Rogue Burn, which was a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah. I went to that. Yeah, I went as well.
The shit show.
The shit. I don't know if there was a rogue burn that most people didn't know about.
Was that the first year of
Yeah,
COVID?
yeah.
I didn't go to that one.
Yeah. That one was super hush.
I heard that was really good.
It was super hush.
Well, I knew about it, but after 20 years of going to Burning Man, I know people who know people.
Sure,
so
yeah.
whatever. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But then I heard it was so much fun. I'm like, when COVID year 2 came around, I'm like, all right, let's go. Well, my friend David Clark, who's used to be the co-producer of Bubba Lounge with me, who passed away a couple of years ago, he insisted that we go. And I really had made up my mind till like 24 hours before we left. I'm like, dude, there's a forest fire. There's smoke. The air quality sucks. I don't think this is a good idea. We're going.
Yeah.
Like, so like we went. And I'm really glad he forced us into it, but it was great.
I had a very similar experience. I had just moved into my new place in Pasadena, and then my buddy was like, I'm driving the RV. You don't have to set up. You don't have to do anything. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And he talked me into it.
The Rogue Burn is definitely better if you have an RV or a camper as opposed to a tent, because then you've got a place to cook and a place to poop and like.
I mean, are there times where it's better not to have an RV?
I feel kind of both ways about it. I've gone in RVs several years and I've taken tents. After this year, though, I think I might be done with a tent, man. I really need to go in an RV.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we're going to go through all of these things. First of all, you've had RVs and you chose tents? I didn't know that people did that.
I bought this 32-foot old RV that took us to Burning Man, I think 3 times or something. But an RV is a lot to keep up with. It's a lot of expense. The thing was too big. But, I finally just said, this is so expensive, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Just sell it. And I thought, I'll just rent them from then on out. But then I got a Kodiak tent, and I went and camped, and I'm like, this is okay, too.
Great. Kodiaks are great. Yeah. We're going to do a product shout out right now, which I'm not getting paid for, I swear. I did get a discount on it, but not because of the show. The Kodiak is, I think, without a doubt, the best thing.
You know what sold me? It's what most of the Black Rock Rangers use.
Yeah. I think maybe they also like it because it matches their outfits.
I don't know if they pay that much attention, but maybe they do.
Yeah. Khaki lives matter. Somebody made a patch of that. It's like the American flag with a khaki line.
It's it. For real?
Yeah.
I need that patch.
So, the Kodiak, I've tried a bunch of different approaches, and the Kodiak has consistently been the best. It's like keeps the coolest if it's hot outside. It breathes. But this year I had a Fest Pro tent, which, if you remember, it was the one that looked like a big shiny disco ball. At the
I
end
do remember. Yeah. How'd that work out?
So it's pretty fucking magical. Like it doesn't breathe, which can be like a good or bad thing, right? But the material is this amazing material that fully reflects light. So the sun and the light is reflective. Inside of it is pitch black.
That's nice.
And it's so dark in there that I swear I had like 3 different occasions where I popped my head out of the tent to figure out what time of day it was and realized that I'd completely misjudged. I thought it was like nighttime and it was day out.
Oh, you're one of those guys who doesn't wear watch at Burning Man. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I have like places I got to be, but this year I didn't.
You can always pull your phone.
It all went to shit.
Phone.
But yeah, no, this tent was pretty fucking amazing. So shout out to Fest Pro. It was.
You know, I think this was my 4th or 5th year in the Kodiak. And this year, because the weather was so torrential on Saturday, you know, we even had a shade structure. And of course, my tent was under the shade structure. It's the one thing that didn't get destroyed was our shade structure, but it did get picked up and slammed to the ground a few times and went through my tent. So now a big hole in my Kodiak.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, it's fixable, but, you know, that did happen. I'm glad I wasn't in it when it happened. I would have, you know, but everything's fine. I'll fix it.
Yeah. Wow. That shade structure has become an important part of my life story.
Yeah, really?
Because of the concussion.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, that shade structure, yeah.
Let's talk. Well, okay, let's do this. I want to start by hearing more about your first burn, and then I want to get a quick kind of overview of your adventure, and then we're going to come back to the storm at this burn. So let's start with the first one. How did you end up at Burning Man your first time? And then obviously you didn't know much about it if you ended up going and hating it.
No, I'd actually made a friend recently. I hadn't even known him a year yet. He's turned out to be a friend for life. He's my friend to this day. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, Burning Man, you've never heard of this? You should go. You'd like it. And I'm like, okay.
Just aim it.
Okay. So he's the one who's convinced me to go. And, you know, I'm glad he did, but I was not happy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you
How did he
before.
convince you?
He made it sound really interesting, and of course it is. But I did have this feeling all along in the back of my head, I'm this corporate guy. I don't really go to these things, and these are not my people. I'm not going to fit in. I'm not going to get it. And that's the attitude I went with, and of course that's what it became.
Yeah.
For the
you
first few
identified
days.
as a corporate guy.
Oh yeah. But side story there, a little thing is that when I came back to the corporate job, my boss said to me a couple of days later, he goes, I don't know what happened to you out there in the desert, but whatever it is or was, you have that week off for as long as you work for this company. Which I was super impressed with. I'm like, okay, that's a deal. I like that. So he did
was like,
make a change in me, and it was so obvious that it even bled over into my corporate life, and my boss saw it and said that.
So so you were a bit of a miserable bastard before that?
No, I didn't think so. No, I don't think I've ever been that.
Yeah.
No, I've been sort of a community guy for a very long time. But Burning Man was not on my bingo card immediately, but it has been now for 21 burns.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, okay. So you're out there when you're having this walk around where you're looking at it and going, I would pay $1,000 for somebody to get me out of here.
Yeah.
How many days had it been at that point?
That's like we were talking earlier. I think it was Wednesday when it hit me. It takes a few days to acclimate. Plus, I mean, things were a bit more loosey-goosey back then. Our cars could drive on the side streets, and we were tucked away. I don't remember where exactly, but, you know, in a radial somewhere. And I was trying to get some sleep, and around, I don't know, 4 in the morning or something, somebody comes driving through all the streets with what sounded like the most authentic machine gun you can imagine, going, and I'm like, what the hell is this place, dude? Get me out of here. It just scared me.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Weird. Yeah, because I don't know what's real and what isn't out there. I wasn't even doing any drugs or anything, but yeah. So there was that.
2003. What were the ticket prices back then?
$185. Something else that was really cool back in those days too, which Todd turned me on to was, by the way, he's the one who took me to Burning Man. Was
Really?
Todd Sparrow. Was
Okay. The DJ whose set we're going to hear at the end of this episode.
Yeah, that's the guy. And he's the one who took me to Burning Man. But he would show me around, and it's like, it was one of my best burns, and I think that's the same for a lot of people. It's their first burn, maybe their favorite, because it's all new.
Yeah.
But one of the things I liked about it once I got my head around it was just getting on a bike and riding out and looking at all the art and taking photos of it. We didn't have iPhones back then. You had to carry a camera with you.
Yeah.
I think my first year I even had a film camera. I don't know. But what I was getting at is they had this place set up in Center Camp where you could go, and it was Media Mecca or something like that. And they posted every day what the population was, so you could see the population grow throughout the week. And I think in 2003, I think it got up to about 24,000.
Wow.
That was the max. Back in those days, you could still buy a ticket at the gate. That didn't even change till, 7 years ago or something?
Yeah.
8 years ago? Don't quote me on that. I may have that date wrong. But like I said, it was more loosey-goosey back then. So there was even somebody who brought, I tell people this and they can't believe it. Their art piece, what they brought to Burning Man was a homemade roller coaster, which was basically a big U shape with a cage inside of it and ropes that you get inside the cage, and they'd use these ropes and pull you up on one side of the U. Right?
Oh my God.
They'd hold you there for a second, and then they let go, and the cage comes flying down one side of the U and up the other. While this is happening, they have a flamethrower shooting fire at you.
Oh my God.
This place, and I never got to ride it because the line was always so long. I'm like, I'm not waiting in that line. So I never rode it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it, but I also heard they really like it better if you had tits to ride that. Guys were to the back of the line.
Because we want to see more jiggly boobies.
I think they just walk like women, and they want the screams are better. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Better screams.
That's accurate. I mean, it depends on which neighborhood you're in.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think we had authentic enough screams in our neighborhood this year.
Yeah, 730 Sector is a party place. Yeah, once we discovered 730 Sector, we're like, this is where it's happening. The thing is, when the very first few years at Bubble Lounge, they camped in Center Camp, and that was a privilege to be there because, that's where First Camp was, where Larry Harvey camped. And in fact, I think the first year Bubble Lounge went, our next door neighbor was Larry Harvey. And he loved the bubbles, by the way. He thought they were fantastic. And one of the perks that very few people even knew existed was if you were in Center Camp, you were on the grid, meaning you had power.
Yeah.
You didn't have to bring a generator. You just plugged into the grid and you had power.
Interesting.
So every year, we would get placement in Center Camp. And the one thing I would say I loved, because back in those days, Center Café was an actual coffee house.
Okay.
And, you can just walk across the street and you're there. And I spent a lot of time, and I really miss Center Cafe. It's one of the worst things I think Burning Man ever did was get rid of it.
It seems like a rare thing that virtually all burners are unified on.
Oh, yeah?
Is that getting rid of the coffee at Center Camp is the single worst decision the org has ever made.
Yeah. I don't think Larry would have let that happen. He seemed to insist on that being there. But, whatever, it's happened. And I think they're struggling now to figure out what to do with it.
Because it's a bit of it's what they call it, a collision zone. I forget what this book is that a lot of leadership folks are into. Tony Hsieh from Zappos was really into it.
Oh.
A collision zone, the idea being that you want to fabricate an environment where you're going to accidentally run into people from different environments. So that's what Center Camp was supposed to be.
Yes. And it was.
And the coffee served that because, I for one, I regularly would go and I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. It's because this is what money does, right? And this is where we could have a whole discussion about how money and capitalism can make so much of this toxic. But the value that it does have is that sometimes I really just want the service and I'm not as interested in the connection. Sometimes. 90% of the time I want the connection. 10% of the time, I just want to give you $3.
I hear that. Yeah.
And get an iced mocha.
That's when you wear your dark glasses.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have my journal, and I don't need to talk to anybody, and I am an HSP, highly sensitive person, introvert. I need to just recharge.
I did not know this about you.
I know.
Yeah,
Nobody would guess that. No, because I've practiced enough how to, and I don't dump it on other people, but I do make the time you probably didn't see me in the morning like come out of tent because I was sitting there meditating and writing and getting myself prepared to go be around people.
No, you were in the south wing of our camp, so I didn't really see you.
Yeah. But yeah, that Center Cafe. By the way, idea that friends and I have been talking about, were like something that the org could do, and I'm saying this on the podcast because maybe somebody could pick it up and run with it because I don't have the time.
Can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. Do have the coffee shop back, but the framework that you could apply to it is what I don't know, and a lot of places do this, but the baseball stadium, the football stadium in San Diego, what they would do is that different organizations, like our fraternity when I was in college, whatever your nonprofit is, you could get a group together and you host a concession stand and you take a percentage of it, and then the stadium, of course, takes the majority, right? And you're just working with your friends and you have this fun experience. You get to introduce people. It's a fundraiser for whatever your nonprofit is or whatever, right? Your organization. So why not let the coffee shop happen at Center Camp and have different camps host different blocks of time? Like imagine 2 to 4 hours Bubble Lounge is hosting coffee shop at Center Camp. And then we have enough people.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we had 100 people this year.
So different groups take charge. And if somebody flakes, by the way, it looks bad on that group. We just put a sign up that says Bubble Lounge was supposed to show up to man the coffee stand for 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and they didn't.
Well, for any of your listeners who have never been to the cafe, they actually did charge for coffee and lemonade and things like that. There were only 2 places in Burning Man that would take money. It was that and Camp Arctica.
Yeah, ice and coffee.
So, and Arctica kind of does what you're saying. You can do a camp takeover of Arctica.
There you go.
We thought about it one year, but people didn't really want to do it. And I'm like, oh, come on. But, so with your idea, would people still charge money, you're saying, for the coffee?
Yes, because 100% of that money was going to local schools anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that's, yeah. Uh-huh.
It was just paying for I imagine paying for the products, right?
I would, unless it was donated, sure.
Yeah. So I think that's a good cause.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
I would love to see it happen.
Apply the Arctica formula to Center Camp Cafe.
Yeah, you do a little takeover. And I mean, at Arctica, though, if you go do that, you don't have to bring your own ice.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm assuming that the Borg would supply the coffee and you just show up as your camp or whatever and you do the serving, right? I think it'd be great. I used to love going there, and I would go there almost every day in the earlier years, and just people watch. That's where you would take the census. You'd watch. I saw the monkey chant there. I didn't even know what the monkey chant was.
The monkey chant?
Yeah.
I don't know what the monkey chant is.
It's hard to describe what it is exactly, but if you ever watch the movie Baraka, the legitimate monkey chant is shown in that movie.
Okay.
By the way, if you've never seen that movie, you have to watch it. It's my
Baraka,
church.
I think I've seen it in the background at techno parties.
Yeah, I bet you have. Because the first time I saw it...
That's fucking weird, right?
No, it's not. It's just, there's no dialogue to this movie. It's more of a tour de force of things that you'll never see because most of them are gone already. Huh. But the first time I saw it, I think it was my second year at Burning Man, and I went out for my walk by myself.
Yeah.
And I got caught in a whiteout, and I didn't know where I was. I couldn't get my bearings, and I just start walking toward, I hear sound, so I start going that way. And I end up in this camp that's showing a movie on the side of a tractor trailer truck in a whiteout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, at least there's people here. I'm going to sit down and rest and watch whatever it is they're showing. Turned out that was Baraka. So it meant a lot to me to see it there. And I came home and watched it. I think I've shown it to every friend I have.
Yeah.
And anyway, the monkey chant is in Baraka. I saw the monkey chant perform live at Center Cafe. There was always a reason to go. I always ran into people I knew. Okay. Almost always met somebody new. I just miss what it was. It was a community hub.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's not that anymore.
Yeah. Feels like The Office.
What do you mean?
It just feels like it's like The Office that you're avoiding. Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone by to try to see what's happening. And a couple of times, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's not what it was.
Yeah.
Or it was dead. There was nobody there. So.
Yeah.
Or they did better this year, that they actually had some pretty fun events, but I never, but this year being as it was, I barely made it out of camp, and I sure didn't make it to Center Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I barely made it out of camp compared to the way I normally am at Burning Man. And it was difficult. Like our streets were royally fucked.
Oh yeah, if you're in a busy part of the city, it's going to be like that, right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I want to fold real quick that your time. Would you be able to kind of say in a couple of sentences what the biggest kind of evolution of the culture and the community is that you've noticed over the past 20 years? Certainly, we've heard quite a bit enough times on this show about how it used to be all fire, and now it looks like Vegas. We've gotten a lot of that. And by the way, this is a good moment for me to interject this part. One of the reasons that I really enjoyed talking to you about our cultural history, and I think I mentioned this to you on Playa at some point, I have met many folks who've been going for 20 years, and not all of them, but a lot of them get pretty crusty, pretty negative. And with you, I felt like there's always this consistent, like, positive joy in your vibe about it. Yeah, or at least you've done a good job of hiding it.
No,
that's pretty amazing. I've talked to a lot in Vegas, for example. I talked to like a lot of folks who've been going for like 20 years, and they were like closing down their camps and stuff. And they were like, I'm like, do you even like Burning Man? It sounds like you haven't liked Burning Man for a long time, and you're just still going for some reason. But I just remember I noticed that about you, and I wanted to showcase that.
Well, thank you for saying that. Here. Oddly, it's funny that you bring it up because I wasn't even going to go last year.
Yeah.
I thought I hit my 20-year mark. I'm done. I've done it. There are other places to go in the world. But things kind of worked out a certain way where the people who were going to run the camp said, well, can you please come back? We really need you. And I'm like, okay, it's not the worst place to be dragged back to. And, but if I'm a little crusty, but I do hide it because, I don't like all the, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't like all the Instagram models out there doing their posing. Like, I don't know, that kind of thing really bothers me. That's one of the big things about the culture that I just don't care for. But what are you going to do about it? The internet came in, cell phones came in. You're going to have that part of it now. But my whole feeling is if you're going to go to Burning Man, you're there to have fun. In fact, one of the things I've always said about our camp is that we want to have as few shifts for everyone as possible because we're there to have fun. We're not there to work. Of course, we've got to build the camp. We've got to tear it down. Yeah. There is work involved, but you want to get out on the playa and see the city, which as a CTO is really hard to do sometimes. Yeah. But I have to schedule things to do or I just don't get out of camp.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so appreciative of you and the work that
thanks.
That you all do because I have the way that my brain is wired is like I just can't fully let go if I know that I have something on my schedule. So that's why I try to schedule things as early in the week as possible.
Yeah. While you still can.
Yeah. Like if I can, like showing up, usually I'm for some sort of early build or whatever, like I want to do all of that as soon as possible so I can really let loose and like let go of time. but like CTOs, for example, like for the most part, you do it if you have the capacity to find a way to still enjoy yourself and know that you still have responsibility. And grateful for that very much.
That place has taught me so much. There are things I've learned I would have never, ever learned otherwise. And every year I go, I was interviewed by this guy for LA Weekly once. I don't know, we were lightning in a bottle and he was interviewing people and he asked me about Burning Man. And because he heard I'd been 14 times at that point. And I said, look, I've been 14 times and I've never gotten it right.
Yeah.
That was the big bold letters. He put in the quote in the magazine. And I don't think anybody ever gets it right. You go to do it as well as you can and have as much fun as you. But, there's always, we could do this better. We could do this next year. Like, it's always like that. And I think that's part of what's kept me going for now 2 decades is that things evolve and things change and we grow. And boy, if you look at, just 4 years ago, what Bubble Lounge was then and what it's become now, like in 4 years. I mean, it's been around since 99 and, Esquire ran the whole thing beautifully, by the way, a very different concept than what it became when David and I were running it. And he passed away and it was sort of on me and now it's on Johnny, or excuse me, I should say a Public Menace.
Yeah.
Public Menace. And he's doing a fantastic job, by the way. He could not be in better hands.
Yeah.
Could not.
No, Johnny's, I'm in awe of how he operates. I want to I
don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Like I told him that, I just want to sit here and just watch you. I learned a lot just watching him gave me a lot of inspiration to.
You know, but the compliment you gave me, you can give that to Johnny too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Johnny's been. Both of us claim we're not really sure how many times he's been, but it's around 10 because I know he's camped with Bubba Lounge that long, and so he's not a new guy.
Yeah.
He's been brought up the ranks, and he knows how things work. And he took the challenge on, and boy, you know, I felt bad for him because our entire camp was destroyed before the gates opened. And we had all these plans and all to naught. That's not happening. Like all the things we thought we were going to do out the window. And even like when you're TCO and you've got people who pay to be a part of your camp, you know, to have an address at Black Rock City and the amenities that go along with it, they show up expecting that you brought what you said you were going to bring. And then people were showing up and going, oh, what happened? But what's really great about that, Arash, is that nobody bitched about it.
Yeah.
They all they seem to innately understand what happened and how devastating it was for us who had the whole thing built before they got there, only to have it destroyed.
Yeah.
So this year was different in a lot of ways, but that was a highlight for me, was that people just sort of at least quietly embraced it. You know, or no, not quietly embraced it. They might have quietly not been happy about it.
Yeah.
But they totally embraced what was going on and made it their best burn. And in fact, I heard quite a few people who'd been at least once before say it was their favorite burn. I'm like, okay, more power to you, not mine, but okay.
There's multiple things I want to dissect from what you're saying right now. One, I can attest that I had the same experience.
Yeah.
There was a lot of because, you know, Bubba Lounge is a big camp. It was very international. And there's a lot of people from different places. And I did not hear a single person bitch.
No, I didn't either.
And that's really fucking impressive. To have a camp that big and to have people that come in, hey, we paid camp dues, we're expecting. No, everyone fully understood and was supportive and appreciative of all that you guys have been through to make it happen.
We had a remarkable crew this year. Everybody, almost without exception, maybe one person. I'm not like, you're not invited back. But other than that one, I would say we had such an amazing group of people camping with us. And you're right, totally international, a lot of Belgians, a lot of Germans. We had a lot of Germans in our camp. But they were just so friendly and nice and helpful, and we couldn't ask for better people. It was like we just gelled. It was a good vibe.
Yeah, it's really good people. And I this is a good opportunity for me to say, I wanted to tell you and Ree and Johnny this on Playa, and I just didn't get an opportunity to tell you all three at the same time. But I am incredibly, I don't know what the word is. Like I see you. I really appreciate, and I'm so grateful. The amount of work you put into coordinating and setting up this camp. For us, it was heartbreaking to be in the middle of having built everything and then watch it get ripped apart, literally in our hands.
Yeah.
But you'd been working on it all year. I'd been talking to Johnny for months.
Yeah.
And the amount of work that had gone into coordinating and planning, and to watch it get demolished. And the fact that y'all had your spirits at least pretending to be up was really fucking impressive.
Yeah. I think I said it. Johnny was the one I felt bad for. It was his first year out as TCO, and he was excited, and then this happened, but he didn't lose his momentum.
No.
Sunday morning, he was out. He had the bar set up. We were having interactivity, and that never stopped.
Yeah. No, everybody stepped up. New fresh blood came in and took over the bar. And they got excited. I mean, it was a great crew. And actually, you know what that does? I think that links to another question that I do want to ask you. I want to get your feedback on, and maybe we can kind of fold these together. Because what I was going to ask you before we went into this, we kind of segued into this topic, was, as a not crusty old school burner, what has been your observation about the biggest changes? The influencer thing, by the way, I completely agree with you. And I'm a photographer, by the way. I'm a professional photographer, and I wish there was less photography on Playa.
Yeah.
But what has been your observation about the biggest shifts that you've seen over the years, and how did that influence the decisions that you make in your later years as a leader?
Oh, that's a good question. Culturally, there's been a shift just because of generation changed, right? And I think I'm fortunate that I was born at a time where half my life has been before the internet and half after the internet.
Yeah.
That's a unique place to be in. And
Yeah.
This generation below mine, they were internet babies. They were born with it. And I think that they have a different culture because of it.
Right. If you've lived your entire life, not just internet, but social media.
Yeah.
If you have no frame of reference of what life even is without social media, you're a different kind of human.
Yeah. I had a Friendster account and a MySpace account.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I was working in tech.
We were on news groups. Remember Burning Man on news groups in the early days? That's how things were conveyed.
Yeah. I've heard about that. I wasn't a part of that, but yeah, I don't mind photographers. I mind people they're there with their fashion and they're strictly for trying to get a picture for their Instagram without any reference to the idea of what this place is about. I mean, I think I believe that most people at Burning Man are really friendly people. A lot of these influencers aren't. Don't you get in my shot? I've actually had a Black Rock City or a Temple Guardian, somebody say, stop, you're going to be in their shot. And
a Temple Guardian said that?
Yeah, and I almost said, you know what, good, and kept going. I didn't.
That's
stopped.
where you show your butthole.
I should have. I should have been an asshole. But that was what really threw me. I'm like, is that what this has become? That being said, the culture, if you look for it, is still very much alive and well. I mean, most people there are really friendly. I've had some of the best conversations of my life at Burning Man with a random stranger I'll never see again. That something that got really profound without psychedelics. I'm not talking about being on something that made me think that. Just really amazing people. I've always said, you never know who's standing next to you, and that really holds true in a place like that. I think that people don't realize what a privilege it is to be able to go to Burning Man. It's gotten to a point where, I mean, tickets are very hard to get, and if you can get them, they've skyrocketed in price, way beyond what inflation is, right? Because they could, and then they can't anymore. Something happened, and now they're not selling out anymore, right? Maybe it was COVID, maybe it was something else. Maybe I could go there, but I'm not gonna. But I still think it's worth going if you think that you'd like to. It's the kind of place that you can find yourself or lose yourself, whatever it is you're trying to do, express yourself, and make friends for life. There are people I've met there that I'm still in touch with from 2 decades ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I answered your question. I forgot the question.
No, you're answering it. Because I'm connecting a few different ideas here. So what we were just saying right now about the number of just good people, really good people at Bubble Lounge, right?
Overall.
And it's safe to say I'm a kind of a semi-professional expert on different Burning Man subcultures. I spent a lot of time with different camps. I've interviewed a lot of different folks.
I would hope the guy that runs Burner Podcast would have some idea. Yeah.
Right.
That's good to know,
So,
Arash. Thank you.
I want to call out that is remarkable to have the number of people that you had together at this camp and to just solid, good human beings.
I agree.
Good heart.
Totally agree.
And I am looking at you as a person who's been going for 2 decades, has been in leadership roles for this long. I'm wondering what's going through sort of your process when you're looking at who's joining the camp. Because there is some sort of a selection process, right? But you're also very radically inclusive. And that's a big thing because I've camped definitely with camps that are not radically inclusive.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to figure out sort of what goes on in the flow behind the scenes where you were in a position to attract as many amazing people as you did for a camp this size, which was in a party sector. These are all things that don't guarantee a good mixture of people. And in fact, I know camps that have a very rigorous interview process and this and that. So I want to know sort of what's going on behind the scenes in your selection process to attract really good human beings.
You know how excellent that question is? There have been entire campfire talks on the Burning Man website where they've discussed this very thing, like what is it you do to screen or to get the right people in your camp? Yeah. And I don't think for us, at least, there's really a science to it. There may be an art to what we're doing. We don't have this rigorous, fill out these 34 pages and tell us why you want to camp with us. We don't do that. But what we do is we build a website that really kind of portrays, I think, that we're just a group of happy people, and if you've got an attitude, this is not for you, right? We're not the camp that beats people up. When, Thunderdome. We're not Thunderdome. We're not the Orgy Dome. We're not any of these things. We're just a happy camp who's been around for like 25 years or 26 years.
It's not to say you're going to get beaten up at Orgy Dome.
And I think the name itself, Bubble Lounge, I mean, come on. It's not, it's kind of a happy thing. Bubbles turned adults into kids again.
Interesting.
But they look at the website and they see the pictures and they see what we're about. And I think it filters out some of the people that we would rather not be in the camp. Then what happens is people start writing in, because you have to fill out a form on the website to try to join. And this year I had a lot of help, because in the past I've done it basically alone. But this year there was Ree, who's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Love her to death. Johnny was a part of it. Kendra, which you know her from the camp, she joined in and helped us out with it this year. And she's perfect. She's like a great ambassador for the camp. And all these people understand that what our camp is about. And they all have the best attitudes when they're there. You don't see any of those people wake up mad or angry or really in a bad mood or anything. We understand each other. It's what we're looking for. And it becomes pretty easy to tell a lot of times when people start asking certain questions on the forum, like, okay, this camp's not for you. And we kind of let them know, you might be happier somewhere else, because we don't provide what it is you're looking for.
Yeah. How often do you reject people?
I don't really call that a rejection, because if they want to camp with us, they kind of come back with, oh, I can live without it.
Okay.
But if you say that and they go away, all the better.
Yeah.
Right? I've never said I banned anyone from the camp. What I say is, okay, they're not invited back. And one person, I said that to the leads. I'm like, they're not invited back. 4 years later, they want to come back. And somebody in the camp really vouched for them and said, you should give them another shot. So we did, and it was great. It was fun. Yeah. But, camps are going to do what they're going to do. TCOs have different ways of going about it. Some camps will say, you can't join our camp unless you're recommended by somebody already in the camp, which I find interesting. But when you're in a camp the size we are, our budget is such that we have to have X amount of people at whatever price point to make it even happen.
Wow, yeah.
Right? In fact, this year we ended up upside down. We're in the red this year. And on top of that, we had to rebuild everything because we lost everything. So this was a really tough year for a lot of reasons, but we have to take people in. In fact, we do the tier system like Burning Man used to do back in the day. If you bought your ticket earlier to go to Burning Man, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And they did 3 tiers. And then when I helped to co-produce a project called Mall Mart, which was a big thing on the playa on the Esplanade for 3 years, we were talking about how we're going to pay for all this. And I'm like, well, let's do the tier system like Burning Man did, because that gets a lot of cash in quickly. And that worked out really well. And I think our biggest camp then was 185 people. When you had a budget of $60,000 for a camp,
yeah,
you're going to take people on you don't know, right? And even this year we just got really lucky that everybody who joined our camp was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
They really were.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't talk that much and they were gone all the time or whatever, when they were there, there was never a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you strive for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything? It's so funny that you have this video up. I'm literally like looking at myself from Burning Man. I don't know what year that is. Do you see me in the bottom front corner?
Which corner?
In the bottom middle.
Oh.
We're watching Mira at Mayan Warrior. Yep, see, there's me. I had long hair then. And I'm talking to that girl right now. Do you see?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Real love interaction, like
It's
recorded
so
for prosperity
funny.
and now on the internet on YouTube.
You want to watch me dancing in the front row of Mayan Warrior? It's the one with Mira.
I love
I
it.
forget
We
what
put
year
this on.
this
It's great.
What was I going to ask? Okay, what have you observed from 20 years, a pattern that moved in a whatever direction it's in? It doesn't necessarily need to be like a positive or negative judgment, but you've watched it evolve in a certain direction, and you intentionally or unintentionally have found yourself going the opposite direction of that particular pattern.
Oh, I'm not sure that I have actually. But you mentioned earlier, what's the big difference in the last 2 decades? And like everybody says, oh, there's not as much fire. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It just evolved into LEDs or whatever. But what has happened that has been really cool is the art got bigger, got more complex. I won't say better because that's in the eye of whoever's looking at it.
Yeah.
But there's been some amazing art that's shown up in the latter years as opposed to the early ones. Now, not saying there weren't some amazing pieces back in the early days, just there were fewer of them.
Right.
You know, I don't know this to be true, but I've heard it said Larry Harvey was a big fan of all these tech companies coming in, building their huge camps or whatever, because they brought the money, they brought the art. It pushed Burning Man to the next level, you know. That's when it started selling out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there were positive things in terms of what the Borg had to say about it. And every year they try to massage it a little bit, change it a little bit, you know, make it different. Who knows what it is exactly now? They seem desperate right now to get whoever will buy a ticket, you know, under any circumstances. But you know, I don't know.
Yeah. We're gonna kind of get into some of the more specific topics of this year on that coattail of that, because I can't prove this. This is just a feeling in my gut kind of thing that I'm going to share. I feel like when I started going, there was more of a culture of jumping onto random art cars. And it feels like that's not happening as much as it used to.
If it's not, it's because there's way more people than art cars.
Yeah.
They made it harder to have an art car too. There are a billion rules now that didn't used to exist.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
And now, unless you're some amazing thing like a two-headed dragon or whatever they have out there, you know, it's going to be hard to get on there because everybody wants to be on it.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because I think I went to Burning Man 10 years before I ever got on an art car. And people are like, what? Why? I'm like, I don't know. I just never did. I remember one year, though, we were camping with Charlie, the unicorn camp, you know, the art car. Mutant vehicle. And it was really hot that morning, and I'm like, you know what? All I really want to do is to get picked up by an art car and driven around the playa and go to a bar or whatever. 30 seconds later, okay, Charlie's going to go out on the playa. He wants to go. Those kind of things happen only at Burning Man.
Yeah.
But I would love to have an art car, but everything I've looked into about it, I'm like, no. It's more than I want to take on. It's not something. Running a camp is enough.
Yeah.
Johnny would love to.
I have said this many times on this show. I am so grateful for people who bring art cars because in my observation, if you have an art car, you are tinkering with that fucking thing all goddamn week.
Yeah.
Like you do not get time off from it.
Yeah.
And then you got to stay sober.
Yeah.
That alone.
There's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know,
it's a lot.
now they have, you have to go to the DMV, the Department of Mutant Vehicles, and get your license to have your art car to be able to drive it on the playa. There are people who bring art cars out there who have to park them at their campsite and never leave because they don't qualify for whatever reason. But now you have to have a license for either daytime or nighttime or both, right? So there's different qualifications. So these people, that's a lot that they have to do. They have to have walkers beside the car to make sure they're not running over people. Yeah. It's not like it was in the old days.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's better or worse. Maybe it's better because it's safer. And given some of the people that are out there out of their heads, whatever, maybe it should be safer and people aren't dying the same way as they were back then. But nobody's getting run over in a tent, you know, that kind of thing. I remember in 2003, they didn't even require like art on the playa to be lit at night. I remember walking. It was a really dark full moon or a new moon night, and we were at deep playa, and there's a group of us, and we're like, I think there's something in front of us, but we were not really sure. Well, none of us could really tell if it was there.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, somebody, I think it was me, actually stepped on something on the floor, on the ground. And when I did, I didn't see it. I just happened to step on it. And when I did, it all lit up.
Oh,
and it was a giant harp. And there were all these squares in the ground. And if you stepped on a different square and played a different song.
And it was meant to stay dark until you stepped on it.
Until you stepped on it.
Wow.
You couldn't see it.
That's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
At the Renegade burn, I got a little taste of that. It was fucking terrifying watching people dying, just driving super fast, and everybody's just got like tents in random places because there's no city grid.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up at some point I think I was getting a drink somewhere with somebody from DPW, and he had said that the night before he and Marion and some other people were talking, and there was some conversation about literally this year, if some horrible thing happens, it could make or break whether or not Burning Man can happen next year.
Wow.
Because like somebody could just run somebody over in a tent. I don't know. And that could be.
Well, something horrible did happen. A couple of horrible things happened.
At the Renegade?
Oh no, this year. I'm sorry,
Yeah. No, I meant specifically at
Got it.
I don't know. I don't have enough information about how any of this unfolded.
Renegade apparently went really well.
It did go very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spread out.
Yeah.
It was a bit, they called it a shit show because there were no porta potties.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We were pooping in buckets.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me was no streets.
Yeah.
It was hard. I got lost a few times, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fine too, by the way. It's okay to get lost.
I enjoyed it very much, and I remember people going, "See, we don't need the org." I'm like, "Nah, I like Burning Man. I like Burning Man proper. I like
I
the
never
streets."
understood why they wouldn't let us burn anything, but there was a no, you can't burn anything there, but they did burn things anyway.
Random enforcement of codes or whatever. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right, I want to talk about some stuff about this year specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. The theme was tomorrow today. And I'll just share my thought on that, and I want your opinion. My thought on the theme was, okay. I just shrug. Okay.
I can't think of a costume that would fit that.
I mean, I don't know. Did you feel like the art responded to that?
You know, I don't really think the art ever really does.
Yeah.
For the most part, the themes haven't really meant much.
Yeah.
I think in the earlier years, that was a little different. You know, there was an aquatic theme one year, and a lot of camps did this aquatic theme thing.
That's a big point actually right there.
Yeah.
Just in the time that I've been going, I've watched the themes not be as important.
No, the themes kind of just, people are like, okay. I mean, some of them were kind of weird. I mean, what was it? Cargo cult? What do you do with that? Maybe there's something more to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was another one too. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I forgot. But
Cargo cult, I can explain what cargo cult is badly because I don't remember the details.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was it a World War I or something?
I thought it was cowboy times. I don't know.
Maybe. God, we're bad. We'll look this up and share it on the link notes. But I just know that the story was something that they were like dropping food and supplies for like these tribes that had like little to no experience with the modern world. And they just thought that this was God dropping off.
Okay.
Something like
They
that.
became religious or whatever.
Yeah. Then they were worshiping these planes flying by, dropping off cargo for them. So it became a cult. I'm explaining this badly. We're going to look this up afterwards.
You know what?
Share a link.
You said made me think of something though. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I was talking about my boss back in the day, and he's like, "You got this week off forever." But then a few days later, he asked me, he says, "Tell me about this place. I want to hear about it." You know, and I'm like, "Why? Do you want to go?" He's like, "No, but I want to hear about it." So I started telling him what my thoughts about it were back in my early days, and he said, "No, it sounds like a cult to me."
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it is. I don't feel that at all, but I can see why people might think so.
Yeah. There's a book, I don't remember what the name of this book is, but the TLDR of the book was it saying that all human civilization, all of it, like 100% of it is cults. It's just that they're different kinds of cults. Like it started out with
And
cults
degrees.
of tribe, then it turned into cults of cities. And it could be argued that we're in a cult of capitalism right here. We're in a cult of the United States. Somebody else is the cult of France, yada, yada, right? I think when people say cult that they're having, the kind of cult that we don't want is when it's a cult of personality. And it's worshiping a person, and then we're all supposed to drink a Kool-Aid and, right?
I know the story, yeah.
But it's all a cult. Like it's all, yeah, is it a cult? Absolutely, it is a cult. Who was it that said it's just a cult where we are brainwashing ourselves?
I don't know.
So somebody,
I don't know.
yeah. Maybe it was Marion. I don't know.
Oh, was it?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Black Rock City this year welcomed attendees from 102 countries, marking it as the most internationally diverse year ever.
Wow, where did you get that information?
ChatGPT.
Ah, because you know, by the time we went to the burn this year,
No,
the
Claude.
previous census wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, "How do you know that?" Okay, that's good.
I don't know.
102 countries.
I could be wrong.
and I bet Canada wasn't one. No,
No.
there were people from Canada.
Maybe it's part of the reason was there's Canada boycotted, so it left enough tickets for other countries. But I can tell you this, anecdotally, I talked to many, many people who said that they felt this was a very international year.
Yeah.
And we were noticing that particularly because we thought this would be the least international year.
Right. That's right. We all talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, people were afraid to come here, but they weren't.
There was an artist that we heard about. Johnny announced it in our camp meeting who was held for 8 hours by immigration because she said she's coming to work on an art project.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact,
And then the advice was given, tell your friends, don't say you're working on anything. You're just here on vacation.
early entry passes used to be called WAPs, Workers Access Pass. And they had to change to SAP, Setup Access, because people coming from other countries were being said, I'm a WAP, I have to go help build this camp. And they were getting stuck in immigration because it said worker.
Yeah.
Right? Work
So it was
access
already
pass.
happening even before this administration.
Oh, yeah, it was. But, I mean, the guy
Certainly worse now.
Yeah, let's not go too far into
Yeah.
politics. I think most people who are listening to your show probably feel about the same way. So
Yeah, mostly. But that is, I mean, honestly, we opened that door a little bit on the last episode, but it's its own whole episode. I'm not, for the listeners who at any point are wondering what topics we will and we get into, I always remind people, we don't shy away from anything. It's just a matter of like, does it fit within the container of the next 20 minutes that I have to do this recording? Well, somebody opens up a fucking can of worms like 5 minutes before we're about to wrap. And I'm like, man, I don't have time for this. Like to get into the most complicated conflict in the world right now.
I didn't think about it till just now. You were asking about differences between back then and nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a lot less political.
Less political?
Yeah.
Really?
There have been some things like last year there was that sign, I forgot exactly what it was called now, but it was all made from, it was a big sign made of signs that were bullet ridden.
Yeah. I'm fine.
I'm fine. Yeah. Which
that thing was
brilliant, moving.
Yeah.
What a piece. We had a neighbor at camp. They got attacked because they were flying a flag from that country or whatever. Mm-hmm. Literally,
the Ukrainian flag.
Yeah, the Ukrainian flag.
Really? Wow.
They got their tent destroyed, bikes damaged.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, so there are things like that are highly political that are still happening.
Yeah.
But I remember back when G.W. Bush was our president, and you go to the playa and Burning Man, everywhere you went, there were these things about what an idiot he was, or like, they're just quoting his silly Bushisms or whatever. 24 hours projected on tents and like that. I saw that, in other ways.
My brain is exploding right now. You're saying, I thought it was the opposite.
I don't think so. I think it's really toned down.
So this was before I started attending. So my understanding of this is based on just interviews and documentary stuff. So but I remember the year that Otto von Danger did Burn Wall Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like super controversial because it was a political art piece, and maybe it was controversial because it was an honorarium, it was placed. I don't know, maybe because it was a big.
Well, it was anti-capitalism happening at an event about decommodification. So
yeah,
I think that was kind of okay.
Right, but I remember seeing information about, reading about it and watching videos and stuff about it, and I was considered to be. It was pretty controversial.
Yeah.
And in fact, on the last intro, I talked about how it feels like it's more like there's more political things happening now, just in the time that I've been going.
You might be right, because in the last handful of years, I barely left the camp. So
but let me tell you something.
Maybe I don't know what's happening out there, but yeah.
If you're, I would like for your assessment to be true.
Yeah.
Right?
It's become more Instagram, less politics, I think.
Interesting.
Which I'd rather go back the other way.
Got to process
Less
that.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't mind the politics because it's usually done in a way that's provocative, makes you think or whatever. There was one installation, I don't know what it was called, but I think it was called The Human Trap or something. And it was a church that was...
The church trap.
The church trap. It was perched up on a stick.
Yeah.
If you walked in and it would close down on you or something.
Yeah. Rebecca Waits.
Oh, that's great. I love that piece.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting idea.
It was.
And there was another one that was political, actually.
Yeah.
At least you're talking about religion. That always gets political. But
can I say, that's an interesting thing to point out. People's definition of political changes.
Yeah, sure.
To me, that doesn't seem as political. But that might be because I'm a lot more interested in that topic.
Yeah.
Like religion and spirituality, and it's something that we talk about quite a bit on this show.
Well, they were making a point that if you go in there, you're going to get trapped.
Right.
Inside.
Right.
And that might rub some people the wrong way.
For sure.
I get that.
I mean, a lot of it is going to rub people the wrong way. Is the definition of political just that it rubs you the wrong way?
It's turning out that way, isn't it? Now it's the old us and them completely. Everything's partisan. You're on one side or the other. There's no in between. You can't even have a discussion with somebody without it turning into this crazy argument. People believe these wildest things now, and I think it's all disinformation from social media.
Facebook.
I don't want to point out Facebook, but I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree. My finger's been hovering over the delete button on my Facebook for the past couple of months. I'm sorry, the past few months. I've exported all my data. I'm getting ready to, and I still use it for announcements, or if I need to just look somebody up, if I'm going to somebody's house party and I want to see, hey, are they still married? I don't want to accidentally ask about so that in that regard, it's kind of useful, right? But I think we've reached a tipping point where it is hurting us more than it's helping. And I think we might need to actually lead the charge to leave them completely.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I don't think it's all Facebook. I think they're all...
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's all of them.
All to blame.
Yeah.
Facebook was just the biggest one, the first one to start it all. But yeah, a lot of my friends have left it. But
for sure. I think, and I've sat with this topic quite a bit, because with this show, for example, part of my process about the topics that we'll get into and how we'll explore it is we've got about an hour and a half. And then I look at what each show is going to be about. So I can tell you, for example, on the last episode where we did the roundtable, and it was meant to be the fun, playful episode that you listen to on your drive to Burning Man. Mm-hmm. And we ended up going on this tangent talking about war and Israel and Palestine.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't get that far into it.
We didn't. It ended up being something that AI edited out for me, because I'm like,
oh, no, I didn't miss it. Okay.
Yeah. No. It was the first episode that I had like AI editing support. And I was conflicted.
AI took it out?
Yeah, well, it was AI didn't do it without my permission. It was just like we were
recommended.
It went through a few rounds of it. And we're like, all right, this episode is supposed to be the fun laughter episode, right? And then this tangent where and it was all of us. It just didn't make it didn't fit in there.
Right.
And just any TV show, right? We shot the scene and it didn't quite work.
Right.
And it's not because I don't want to talk about the topic. It just didn't work. And then we went back to laughing and cackling about art projects. It didn't make sense, right? So and I edited, had the AI clear it out and listened to the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this flows really, really well. And that's what it was meant to be. It's a show, right?
Right.
And I'm like, all right, this is a topic that we're going to get to in a next episode or in a future episode. So for this one, for example, with me and you bantering back and forth, it makes sense. And we're talking about this topic very specifically, but it didn't make sense in that one. So, and that's the thing. So just getting back to the playa, if we're respecting the 10 principles, I'm personally of the opinion that there shouldn't be anything that's off limits as far as topics that are brought out to the playa.
I agree.
But going and destroying somebody's tent is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
The PCQ, people don't really understand that when you run a theme camp, it starts in November. The PCQ, Place Camp Questionnaire, is due in November, which is ridiculous to me because they ask you all these questions. How are you supposed to know the answer to half these questions? Because you're not even really planning yet, but that's what they do. So, you fill it out. But one of the things about that, so I just lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about?
The difficult topics in politics and 10 principles.
Oh, yeah. 10 principles. We put the 10 principles on the Bubba Lounge website. We have posters that we hang up of the 10 principles in our camp. We try to follow that. But in the PCQ, they ask you, as the TCO, which principle do you have the most hard time with? And for me, it's been radical inclusion.
Really?
And it's not because I have any bias against a race or anything like that. I don't. I don't care. As a matter of fact, I love when our camp is so diverse.
Yeah.
This year proved how well that can work.
Yeah.
Right? Love it, love it, love it. But when somebody is just an asshole or disrupting the camp, I have a hard time with radically including that person because that's not what our camp's about. And that's what I mean by that. But the one principle that Burning Man gave to me that I took into my life, everyday life, practically, is immediacy. That's my favorite one. And it means so much in the playa because you see something, you better go look at it if you're interested because it may not be there tomorrow. They'll burn it down or it'll move or something. Yeah. But if you take that idea of immediacy and put it in your everyday life, it can change your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Can I say regarding the radical inclusion, though, I don't know if it says that you should radically include people even if they're assholes.
Yeah, maybe that's me interpreting it. I don't know, but...
No, I don't. It doesn't mean you're supposed to be a doormat. Because there's radical self-expression, but that when you read the text of it, it also does clarify that it's meant as long as you're not actually hurting other people.
Hurting.
Right. So that's where like you got it. Each one of these things kind of like balance each other out. And then on top of that, they're not laws. Like, right, you just kind of, in my experience so far, they tend to kind of balance each other out pretty well because one part doesn't quite answer, the other part kind of does. Radical inclusion, I think it's about inviting like different ideas that you may disagree with.
Well, I'm all about that.
Yeah. That's why that's why I go out there. I like being challenged.
Exactly. Like I said, some of the best conversations of my life out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with people. I told someone once, I'm like, I have discovered that through Burning Man, I've discovered this. Some of the most amazing people that I've met came wrapped in a package I did not expect.
Yeah.
Because you have these preconceived ideas about, you see somebody, you make a judgment. Yeah, stop doing that, because you need to talk to that really tatted guy with the long hair who looks like he might kick your ass. He might be the sweetest, most fun, or most intelligent guy you meet all year. That's what I learned from the radical inclusion part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have 1,000 stories about, couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
That was what, to some extent, kicked off this podcast.
Yeah, why?
My having that experience when I first started burning. And I was looking, friend, for example, that stands out. Like I was just, this person was absolutely demolished after like a 4-day bender. And I was like, there's no fucking way you have your life together. And then we met in default and this person blew me away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was one of the things that seeded the interest in doing this podcast. I'm like, wow. All right. I want to talk to everyone now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a great story.
Yeah.
I often see a lot of people outside, where I've met on the playa, outside of the playa. They may come back to Burning Man the next year and I see them again, but yeah, I don't know about, even LA, you'd think there'd be a lot of burners around here that are hanging out, but no, not really.
Oh, LA is hard. LA is really spread out.
Yeah, it is.
I've been to different cities where there's a lot more like a centralized burner hub. Also, I think it has some to do with if you're in a more conservative place, like the weirdos find each other and,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, don't let me go. But LA is like packed with weirdos and there's a lot of big, huge camps here. So you have like cultures that are based around that.
That may be
camp.
what it is, actually.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through a few more of these bullet points before we wrap our talk here today about this year specifically. I have a note here that says the Burning Man Project awarded $1.6 million to 77 honorary art installations spanning 12 countries.
Well, that sounds right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. And they all want more.
All right, let's talk about that fucking dust storm. I've shared, so most of it gets built. This is, Saturday for listeners who are not aware. By the way, a few years ago when the Mudman was happening, I had multiple messages from people concerned about me.
Oh, yeah.
This year, none. And this year legitimately was fucked up. We pretty much, it was all built and ready to go. Bubble Lounge was ready to go. And then when that storm hit us, we're in the middle of all that madness. And you and I are holding on to these, literally holding on to our kitchen.
Yeah, I was about to bring this up.
Yeah. And then you're screaming at me through the 50-mile-per-hour wind. These are
literally
hurricane winds.
Yeah.
Arash, if this thing goes flying, you let it go.
Yeah. Because it's not human nature to let go. And I've seen people hang on and go flying. And if it goes, you let it go. But for people who don't know, that we camped together this year.
I think they figured that part out at this point.
Yeah, we were in that tent when it was about to leave.
Oh my God.
And the wind was so bad, the dust was so bad at times. What were you, 7 feet away, and I couldn't see you, right? Not all the time.
Yeah.
But then once there was a little bit of clarity, and you were there, and you looked at me and you said, and I'll never forget it. You go, "So, Rand, are you coming back next year?" And I think I said, "You're asking me this now?" Yeah. But I'll never forget that. That was just something else.
Oh my God. So you were shouting, get everybody into the container.
Yeah.
So got the people around. We all ran into the container. At one point, I'm running around out there, and it had all ripped apart and collapsed.
Yeah.
And I was looking for one of our campmates who was a petite woman, and I'm like, "Oh shit, is she trapped underneath this shit here?" And I had a brief moment where I was digging through things and preparing myself for seeing like a body and us having to bring in
I didn't know you went through that.
emergency services. Yeah, like it was fucking brutal.
Who was it?
Oh my gosh, what was her name?
Anyway, maybe not.
Blanking.
It's interesting that really nobody got seriously hurt. I
Yeah.
mean, you got a little bang a bit.
We'll talk about that right now too.
Yeah. But we are very, my biggest fear was something from another camp was going to come flying through the air
Yeah.
and land on me or something.
Yeah.
But when we were inside that structure, our
Because so
tent-
much hadn't been connected down yet. It was so early.
well, it was in our camp. We were legit. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
lag bolts and the ratchet straps. We did everything we could do, but the storm was too much.
I was watching Leroy is fucking badass, by the way. He's running around drilling things in and connecting
Dude,
things.
that man, Leroy, is like no other burner.
Leroy inspired the fuck out of me this burn to come back out and really get on top of
On
my
the
fitness.
website,
And
I always give him a spot, and I say guru is a big word, but if Bubba Lounge has a guru, it's Leroy.
Leroy is the shit.
He is the man. Yeah.
Yeah. So at one point when the winds died down, I went to try to go fix the tent structure intensity. And that's when the wind picked up and banged me in the head.
Yeah.
And went to Rampart like later that night, actually due to Leroy's urging. And it was after a friend of mine in Spanky's, his friend who he drove with ended up passing the next day. She couldn't breathe and they had to take her out to Reno.
Yeah, I heard
so that was
about
actually one of 2 deaths that I personally knew of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty fucked up. It was pretty fucked up. And I didn't know that I had a concussion until I wasn't certain of it. I was a little sleepy and I got a little nauseous the next couple of days, but it wasn't until I came back to default that I saw more and more of the symptoms showing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It lingered.
Yeah.
Because you're talking, you got hurt on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you're talking about what, 8-9 days later?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I it was, I could sense that I was different. My mood was kind of messed up. But I just chucked that up to just being a hard year.
Have you recovered?
Yes, I
You're
have
good now? You sure?
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
left.
good. I'm glad to hear it.
I left the playa. Originally, my plan was to stay in Gerlach with Johnny for 3 months, and then place fell through.
I don't know.
So I ended up going to Lake Arrowhead and just recovering and spending time in nature, just meditating, doing yoga and crying. And I had a lot of mood shifts and stuff. I definitely have gone through a bit of a journey.
Wow, do you know how many chicks listening to you right now just went, oh, I got to meet this guy?
Well, it was, listen, this is why I'm sharing this, is that Burning Man is a ritual. Like, it is a ritual. It's an experience. It's like sitting with ayahuasca. And it's just, it was, for me, it was kind of a gift. I knew that I needed to slow down, and I knew I needed to do some of this inner work. And that concussion
Forced you into
forced
it.
me to do it.
Yeah. I mean, people ask me about it. They hear that it was bad. And I just, my answer's been basically that it was my 21st burn and the only time I've ever been in fear for my safety, where I actually thought I could lose my life. I actually felt that. And you saw me feeling that way. And when I was trying to say, we got to get out of here. This is not worth it.
Yeah.
And Ree is like, no, we must save the lounge. And I'm like, oh, gosh. She's not going to leave. I can't leave either. Got to stay here with her. And we know what happens next, whatever. And she's on the ground. I'm like, oh, no, she's hurt. But she wasn't. Everyone was fine.
What was she on the ground for?
When the thing flipped over and knocked her on the ground.
Oh, wow.
And when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, no, she's hurt. And I panicked. Well, I didn't really panic. I don't panic, really. But I walked over, just fearing the worst. But she's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm like, get your ass in the container now.
It was an interesting experience that I think people have in these, and I talked to quite a few people throughout the week about it, right? And people were pointing out the strange thing about how it felt inexplicably. They're like, I don't know if it's weird to use this word, but it was almost fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's the adrenaline pumping, and we're adrenaline junkie population of people that to do stupid, crazy shit like go to the desert.
I think that might be directly correlated with how old you are.
Yeah.
When you're in your 30s and 40s, oh, this is fun. Like when you're 60, you're like, oh gosh, what is going to happen to me? I turned 60 this year before I went to the playa. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. How old is Leroy?
I don't know exactly.
I know he's a veteran. He's a veteran of Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time with him, and it was physically brutal for me this year. I already had gone in with a bunch of pain and physical ailments and stuff and emotion. And so it was hard. And then the roads became impossible. Then I got the concussion. So I could barely move.
Wow.
Like I couldn't bike around anywhere because I could feel my brain shaking around in my skull.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it was rough.
Yikes.
It was fucking rough.
Oh.
And I remember I was like, I am starting a yoga practice the instant I get off playa. And that's what I've been doing.
You don't get the burn you want, you get the burn you need.
100%.
That's what they say.
It was what I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was multiple dust storms of 45 to 50 mile per hour gusts. Fucking rain. People keep calling it mud, and I'm like, I wish it was mud. But it's like glue.
Yeah. It's like cement
Yeah.
before it hardens.
Horrible. Let's see. Structural damage, safety incidents. I'm going to share. Mitchell Gomez, who was the previous CEO of DanceSafe, he said this on social media, and he was sharing some news reports, and so many of these news reports show a picture of the Orgy Dome when they're mentioning Burning Man.
Yeah,
Man,
it's the first thing that went out.
the media loves the Orgy Dome.
Yeah. I actually thought about this earlier today when you were coming over. I was like, what are we going to talk about? And one of the things that came to mind was that Burning Man gets a bad rap because the news will only show the most extreme things, not the beautiful things. They don't take time and show you the art or the community. No, they talk about the Orgy Dome and how the man ran into the flame and whatever bad thing happened that year.
We're not saying the Orgy Dome is bad. We're just saying it's salacious, and then the media wants to show it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clarification. It's day and age, but people in my family, they're like, they don't understand like why.
The Orgy Dome?
No, just yeah. I've actually never been to the Orgy Dome.
Took you 10 years to get on art cars. Maybe year 23 is your first Orgy Dome year.
Wow, how about that? Oh gosh, don't know. But I do think I just tell people it's not what is portrayed like in the media all the time. It's a whole lot more. It's a whole lot different, better. I don't know. Better may not be the wrong word, but
yeah.
There's a reason I've gone 21 times and it has nothing to do with the Orgy Dome.
Yeah. The name of this episode is Don't Go to Burning Man, because I've been using that hashtag for a while now.
But are you saying that in a sarcastic way, or do you mean it?
I think the most Burning Man way to do it is to just tell people don't go to Burning Man.
Okay.
Because I had the period of time, right, where I wanted to explain to people, oh, you're missing it. You're doing it. No, it's because this thing, like what you were just describing, right?
Right.
And then at some point, I just decided to just like, when people start to say, no, I can't understand where we go. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't go. And then the conversation gets way more interesting.
Oh, okay.
Because if you just take the position of trying to talk them out of it, it becomes way more entertaining for you.
I can totally see that. Well, it's like I said earlier, it's not for everybody. If you think you want to go, you should go. But
no, I tell people directly, like, no,
don't. You should
don't go.
Let me tell you how bad
and try to talk them out of it.
Yeah. Let me tell you how bad it is.
Yeah. And then I've had a couple of experiences now that by the time that conversation ends, person's like, fuck, I actually really want to go now.
A little reverse psychology.
Yeah. But it's also like, it's
I'm going to experiment with that. I want to see what that's like. Yeah. Try that out.
I'm legit considering putting together a book just called Don't Go to Burning Man and getting quotes from all of my previous guests giving advice for why you shouldn't go.
Why not, right?
Right now, why would you say don't go to Burning Man? What would be your reason to tell somebody?
Cost. It's like outrageously expensive.
Okay. Let's say they have money.
Yeah, it's worth it. What?
Let's say they have fuck you money.
If they have fuck you money, I'm like, okay, well, you want me to talk them out of going? Is that what you're saying? Good question. You're not going to have the pristine weather conditions that you see in all the videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be it could be really disastrous. You're not going to like it. It's never quiet. You
are not convincing me, Rand. You are too nice.
I'm too nice. You're right.
I love that.
Oh, by the way, the guy that's trying to sell you drugs, he's undercover. You're going to jail. I don't know. I don't have a lot of bad to say about it, but I'm curious about what you've got to say. when you try to talk to people. I
Can't
think this
shower.
looks a good idea. Maybe
You
I
can't
need-
shower.
Oh yeah, you can't. Well, they'll be like, oh yeah, I've got the money. We're having a porta shower delivered. Like, okay, next. You said that kind of money.
True. All right, maybe I went too far. Maybe they've got fudge you money. It's not full on fuck you.
Fudge you.
Here's a bit. A baby named Aurora was unexpectedly born at the 2025 Burning Man Festival to parents who were unaware of the pregnancy. The mother experienced a cryptic pregnancy, which is when a woman is pregnant but shows no signs and is unaware until labor. A nurse and other medical professionals, of course, they just happen to be hanging out because it's Burning Man, helped deliver the premature baby, who is now receiving care in the NICU. There is a GoFundMe for them, which has raised $18,000
That's
so far.
fantastic. That's awesome.
We'll put that link in there too. And it's, as you might imagine, if you didn't know there was a baby on the way, there's a lot of costs that suddenly drop in your lap.
Yes.
You've had no time to prepare.
Yeah, knock wood. I have actually never been to Rampart, but I hear the most amazing things about that organization. Like some of the top doctors in the country go and just give their time to this.
Yeah.
Hopefully I never have to go.
Yeah.
But if I did, I would feel okay with the fact that I'd be okay.
Yeah.
As to the point that you can be out in the middle of the desert, but yeah.
There was a year that I went multiple times because I had these ice pick headaches. And the volunteer who was seeing me turned out to be a neurologist from Walter Reed.
That's fantastic.
Like, he was like literally one of Obama's doctors.
Wow.
And he was
See,
there.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some of the top doctors in the country. Screw you, media, and your orgy dome. There's lots of really cool people that go there.
Yeah.
Those guys wouldn't be donating their time if it wasn't worth it,
Yeah.
right?
I am grateful for the orgy dome, but I am also,
Yeah, I don't mean to rag on that.
No,
I kind of
I'm-
come down, yeah.
I kind of would like to see what happens if there is no more orgy dome. Like, what will the media do? What image will they put on the front page of their salacious article?
Yeah.
It's like immediately the thing they put on there. It must be the most media covered thing that Burning Man's ever had.
You know what? They'll just make something up. I've seen it happen before. You'll read a story when you get back and you're like, wait, that didn't happen. That's,
Really?
Where are they getting that? That is not true.
Ah.
They'll just make it up. I don't remember the example now, but yeah, I've seen a couple like that. They're just making it up.
There's an app that does like research, and it creates for you, I forget the name of the app, but it creates for you like a podcast style. Like this conversation you and I are having, it'll be like a 15-minute version of this, of like whatever the thing is that you're trying to learn about. Another thing I'll link to later.
A little
but like,
synopsis or whatever.
yeah. So I listened to the one that it did on Burning Man, and it is factually accurate. Like, I couldn't say that any of the sentences are inaccurate.
Right.
But it's a robot trying to understand Burning Man.
Yeah, which robots don't
And it
understand the
misses-
feelings
yeah.
involved. They don't get it.
Dramatically misses the point.
Yeah.
And it even it's like a woman's voice is a man's voice, and they even go and cut each other off and stuff. But it doesn't get it. It just doesn't get it.
That stuff's getting scary anyway. Have you seen the video? Somebody put a short film out on YouTube. I think it's called Dust. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the happy, Mayan warrior DJ set or what. It's not like that. This is, in some ways, I think one of the more honest portrayals I've seen of Burning Man put on video or film or whatever it is.
Dust. Actually, no, I don't know if
good.
I have watched it. I think somebody sent it to me.
I don't know the people. I don't mean to give them a plug,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just you made me think about that.
I'll look it up. Dust short film.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes. We can watch.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll watch it after this. The two short films that I always turn people on to is Ignite.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever watch that? Ignite is
I
beautiful.
think I have it on DVD. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignite, because I've interviewed Ryan Moore, who's the producer, and Charlie Goes to Burning Man.
Charlie Goes to Burning Man.
Charlie Goes to Burning Man it follows a gentleman named Charlie who I think has like stage 3 cancer.
Oh wow.
And he's 80?
What?
And he goes through like his first Burning Man.
God, you gotta love that.
Yeah. That I think
Wow, that
so I
kind
show
of
them
spirit.
Huh?
That kind of spirit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he loves it. And like so and he makes peace with his mortality just from being there. But like the balance of those two things, Charlie Goes to Burning Man and Ignite are the two short films I show people after I've finish talking them out of going to Burning Man.
I don't even know this one about Charlie. I'm going to have to check that out.
We'll watch that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Phones. I have a note here about phones. I would say, yeah, this is the most phones I've ever seen at Burning Man.
Yeah, I really miss the days where we didn't have those things. Or even for a while, it was like the signal was so bad that your phone wouldn't work anyway. There was 70,000 people trying to get on one tower. Yeah, good luck. You might get a text out. But now you see people talking on the phone, sending videos to their Instagram. I'm like, oh, God.
Fucking Starlink.
It's just what it is now. But yeah, it is Starlink.
Yeah. Fuck you, Elon.
We had people in our camp that had Starlink. I'm like, it's good to know in case we have an emergency or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's all I want it for. Please don't leave that up all the time. That's just not what I want there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being selfish, but
no, I hear you. I would like, and I'm regularly experiencing that too. And that's why I love talking to old school burners about change is inevitable.
Yeah, you can't stop it. And change is good.
Yeah.
For the most part. That's what progress is.
Right.
So,
speaking of fuck you, Elon, you saw that piece, right?
I saw photos. I didn't make it out of camp to see it, but yeah.
I'm fairly convinced he put it up himself.
Really?
Yeah. At this point, out of all the stories that I've heard from random people, it went on.
Isn't his brother on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe his brother put it up.
Maybe.
That's a great prank on your brother.
They keep that kind of quiet. I don't think he's listed anymore, but he's definitely part of it somehow.
Yeah. That is accurate. A homicide occurred at Burning Man Festival this year.
That's the first as far as I'm
it is.
as I'm aware.
Yeah.
People die, but statistically, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But it's the first time there's been a murder.
Oh, yeah. And it's still unsolved.
It's going to remain that way.
Same. Yeah. I mean, at this point, if they haven't figured it out, right? No. I mean, we'll share the link for if you have information, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're still putting together some sort of links.
I randomly bumped into someone the other day. I think it was at Afterburn that knew this camp, and it's much more brutal than what's being told. Like,
really?
It's really, really bad.
Oh.
I don't think we want to even talk about it here, but it was really bad.
Oh. That sucks to hear. My mom is in like the Burning Man Facebook groups.
Okay. Because your mom's cool like that?
My mom, she's just watching. She'd like for us to hang out 24/7, and this is one of her ways. So she was just telling me, oh, this is like sweet. She's like, she was looking at his pictures and seeing his art, and she was like, oh, I felt so bad for him. He seems sweet. And anyway, it's my mom sends her love to Redeem's family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a fucking Burning Man. Are you going to go next year?
I don't know yet. Have not committed, but it's looking like I may have to. I don't know. Like I said, it's not the worst place to be dragged to, but
keep trying to get out, but they keep pulling me back in.
Yeah, I've said that very quote a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in my apartment now. You saw my bedroom. You see my living. This is like Bubble Lounge storage now at this point, but
it's a very Burning Man apartment.
Yeah, it is.
There's burner
you see the
shit
Burning
everywhere.
Man beside you there? Look at that.
Oh yeah, look at that. Can we burn it?
No. Yeah. I even have pieces of the temple in the hallway over here. I don't know if you noticed. I'll show you over there.
Oh wow, nice.
And behind you, there's a bowl full of playa dust.
That's
I'm
so
ridiculous. Rad. I'm ridiculous.
I'd been telling people this past month, I'm like, you know how I do know I have brain damage? Because in the middle of all of that insanity, you know what thought I had in my head? This was the thought I had in my head.
Let's hear it.
Next year, I'm going to bring a tricycle. We're just addicted to the failing at this thing and trying to do it better.
Okay. Bring a tricycle. You wouldn't be the only one. You can decorate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a canopy, light it up. It'll be nice.
No, my ass was just taking a pummeling. I was just really, really wrecked.
E-bikes are a big controversial thing, but it's kind of like the only way I can get out unless I have access to an art car anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to walk 7 miles across the playa and back.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we just enforce the speed limit on the e-bikes, it's fine.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with them. The only problem is that they're really slow to charge, which unless you got a solar generator or something.
I don't think anybody has a problem with an e-bike going the speed of a bike. I think it's just because there's a lot of assholes that drive them
Yeah.
super fast and populated areas.
Yeah, how do you ban the assholes? I don't know. That's what you got to do, right?
Oh my God. At some point in the week.
Oh, no, radical inclusion.
Right. I know.
You could let the assholes
At some point, I was walking through one of the streets, and there was some fucking dickhead driving his truck with a trailer attached to it, flying through the mud, and had this crazy grin on his face. I'm guessing he wasn't sober. I yelled out at him, which is not a common thing that I'll do. Usually I'm like, whatever. But
Burning Man has his reputation. Oh, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, that's not exactly right.
Yeah.
You can't go hurt someone. That's not cool.
yeah,
There's
no.
certain things you got to, there are a lot more rules now. That's a big difference. Like I said, in the earlier days, it was a bit more willy-nilly, but it's probably better this way.
There's more bureaucracy for sure. Just like any city.
Yeah. I mean, that's inevitable, right?
Right. Right.
You don't want to be sued out of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Rand, thank you so much.
No, Rosh, thank you so much.
I really appreciate this. This is a fun conversation.
It was fun, yes.
And it was, I'm glad you weren't able to make it to the last episode so we could do this one. This was a perfect.
It all just works out the way it's supposed to, right?
Yeah. Perfect first burn wrap up.
I love you, dude. Good luck
Love
with the
you.
show. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate all the work that you've done. I really, like I said, I see you, I see the team, the leads, all the work that y'all put in to make this thing happen. And it was a brutal fucking year, but we are crazy people and we will go back.
We must be crazy, right?
You're going to go back, even if you don't. It's not like you need a reason.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, look, I mean, it's as part of the story. Like you listeners, you're probably hearing the sounds of Todd Sparrow in the background right now.
Oh, sweet.
Right? And it's funny. I was familiar with Todd's music long before actually getting to like camp with him. Yeah.
No kidding.
I'm pretty sure.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've like had his sets on other podcast connections and stuff. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah, so it was cool to connect, and it's fun to see that he was the one that dragged you out your first time.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
You're listening to the sounds of Todd Sparrow in the background. This set was recorded, I forgot to look this up, but it was at Slut Garden, and it looks like, 2017?
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Slut Garden 2017.
Which was a phenomenal set, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we had a bunch of music that was scheduled to be played at Bubble Lounge, which obviously didn't happen because
Yeah, we didn't get started till Thursday.
hurricane.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll link over to Todd's SoundCloud so you can hear the whole thing. We're going to play 20 minutes, half an hour of it over here. But I'm going to use this as an opportunity to make a quick announcement. We're bringing back Burner Podcast Presents Alkaline. Alkaline, for those of you not awares, was Burner Podcast's sister show, which was produced by yours truly and my brother from another mother, Navjit Sarna. And he stepped down, and the show kind of sat in limbo for a little bit. Did 66 episodes, and then it's just kind of been quiet till now. Producing this show that you're listening to right now is unreasonably resource intensive is what I've been telling people. Like, seriously, it takes like a week of unpaid labor to produce this thing that you're listening to right now. So in order to keep the seat warm, we've been experimenting with some other concepts until we finally came up with the brilliant idea of bringing back Burner Podcast Presents Alkaline and sharing new DJ sets from our global Burner community on the same podcast feed, this one that you're listening to right now. So anyway, it's amazing how often the answer is right under your nose. So Alkaline's coming back. We're going to play DJ sets. You're listening to Todd Sparrow right now. We'll probably play the full set on a future episode, or you can pop over to his SoundCloud to hear the whole thing. If you like this episode, please do share it with 3 friends. You can just text it to them or something, because fuck Facebook. I'm still using it.
It's okay.
No. It's hard to quit an addiction. But if you do post about it, please do use the hashtag Don't Go to Burning Man. Also, leaving reviews on iTunes and stuff is also great. Helps bring the show to more of our community so that I don't have to buy paid advertising. Burner Podcast is produced by a revolving team of volunteers and participants. Today's contributing producer is one Mr. Public Menace. Thank you for making this episode happen. And as always, you are invited to pitch interviews in your neck of the woods. I love traveling and crashing on people's couches. Or throw some dough in the tip jar. All of these links are over at burnerpodcast.com. where you will also find more podcasts such as Burner Podcast vs. Alkaline and other cool shit. The Burner Podcast theme music, America's Horse with No Name remix, is produced by Joe Man, based out of Austin, Texas, which I think I'll be in February, I think. Until next time, love, light, and all that other crap. Take us back to the playa. Todd Sparrow.
burnerpodcast.com.